Yes, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, would like to welcome everyone uh, to today's session. So, in today's video, uh, I will we will further discuss about the overview of Tattva Sandarbha. In my last session, I just gave the introduction to Tattva Sandarbha, the structure of these Sandarbhas, and the position of uh, where these Sandarbhas lie, and the Indian with the Vedic literature corpus. So, uh, starting from the person's jigyasa and the different philosophical systems, the Astika Darshanas and the Nastika Darshanas in the Indian tradition, and the different Vedantic systems. Yes, the different Sampradayas, Madhva Sampradaya, Ramanuja Sampradaya, Nimbarka Sampradaya, and Vallabha Sampradaya or Sri Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. So, and also I gave an overview of what each Sandarbha talks about. So this was all some of the concepts, some topics I discussed in my last video. Yes. And what is the main, usually in the other Sampradayas, whenever they wish to refute the monism or the Advaitavad, or they want to do the metaphysical analysis. So they always take the methodology by commenting on the Prasthanatrayi. Prasthanatrayi is the Upanishads, that is Shruti Prasthana, the Bhagavad Gita, that is Smriti Prasthana, and the Brahma Sutras, that is Nyaya Prasthana. But there is the unique method of Srila Jiva Goswami is that he is taking a very much distinct approach of he did not directly refute Shankaracharya through Prasthanatraya, but instead he took Srimad Bhagavatam as the primary lens, and he did not give his own opinion or like that, but he analyzed the Vyasadeva's Samadhi vision. Yes. So Vyasadeva, even though he wrote everything, he composed Puranas and other. He divided the Vedas and he wrote Brahma Sutras also. But still, he felt dissatisfaction in his mind. So then he approached his guru Narad Muni. Narad Muni informed him that the reason for your dissatisfaction is that you have not uh, mentioned, or you have not described the glories of the Supreme Lord sufficiently. You have not glorified the nature of the Supreme Lord sufficiently, and discussion of bhakti is very less. So uh, that's why you are feeling dissatisfied. So Vyasadeva enters the samadhi, and he realizes so uh, the nature of the Supreme Lord, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the is written by Vyasadeva. So whatever Vyasadeva has seen in his samadhi, and that is what he wrote in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the ultimate culmination and the essence of all the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutra, because that is what Vyasadeva ultimately he concluded that he has to uh, give or provide, he has to explain and describe more glories of the Supreme Lord. And Jiva Goswami, he took Srimad Bhagavatam as primary lens and analyzed also the testimony of the realized speakers. So He has taken many of the uh, other the Srimad Bhagavatam is actually full. It's full of the conversations. So, conversations between realized speakers. Yes. The Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who himself before was Brahmavadi, but he was himself attracted by Srimad Bhagavatam. So then Vyasadeva instructed Shukadeva Goswami. And Shukadeva Goswami, he narrated Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So later on, then Suta Goswami, he spoke the whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Shaunaka, Rishi, and other sages in the Naimisharanya. So this was, and then Sri Jiva Goswami has very systematically explained all of the concepts of the Supreme Lord, the philosophical concepts, and he has also analyzed the Bhagavatam statements which describe about the nature of the Supreme Lord, the nature of jivas, the the nature of prakriti, the kala, yes, and the nature of activity, the swabhava, karma, and many more topics. And also the features of Bhagavan, so the supreme reality, that is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shatyate. So that's why we can see that starting with, he has started with Tattva Sandarbha. Tattva Sandarbha, first of all, he establishes Srimad Bhagavatam as a supreme pramana, and he talks about uh, regarding the different types of pramana and how the Shabda pramana or the Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost pramana among all the other pramanas. And he determines the prameyas, what he is going to discuss in his sandarbhas. This is very much important. So this provided, Tattva Sandarbha provides the ontological and epistemological foundation of Gaudiya Vaishnava theology. So once we know what is the uh, valid knowledge and what is the means of valid knowledge, yes, how can we understand so that the valid knowledge is completely distinct from errors or samshaya or ajnana, avidya. So it should be completely distinct from that. The viparya, the misconception, the confusion. So it should be completely distinct from it. Then only a person can properly get the valid knowledge. And the means of valid knowledge should also be attained. From how we are getting that valid knowledge, that also has to be ascertained. So that is all what Tattva Sandarbha discusses about. And then based on this verse, Vadanti Tattvavidas Tattvam Yajnanamatvam Prameti Paramatmiti Bhagavanti Shadyate, he starts he he starts with the Bhagavat Sandarbha. The Bhagavat Sandarbha is his second Sandarbha. So wherein he explains about the nature of the Brahman and also Paramatma within Bhagavan. And he explains the names, forms, qualities, associates, and abode, and intrinsic to Bhagavan's essential nature. Then Paramatma Sandarbha, he explains about the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord, how Paramatma is all pervading and he is everywhere. He is he is there in everyone's heart. And also it discusses about his Shaktis and the Jiva and Prakriti as distinct potencies. And Krishna Sandarbha, so he identifies Sri Krishna as Param Bhagwan, Swayam Bhagwan, and the definition of Swayam Bhagwan. And to attain that Swayam Bhagwan Sri Krishna, what is the Abhideya or what is the process. So in Bhakti Sandarbha, that is his fifth Sandarbha, he defines a Shuddha Bhakti and the nature of Shuddha Bhakti and the means of reception. So how should we perform Shuddha Bhakti and who is eligible to perform Shuddha Bhakti and the distinction from mixed devotion. So how Shuddha Bhakti is distinct from the mixed devotion. Mixed devotion means the devotion could be anointed with karma or jnana or with a desire of karma jnana. So the devotion should be completely free from that. And it should be anya bhilashita shunyam. There should not be any other desire uh, when we are while we perform bhakti towards Lord Vishnu. And he establishes how, compared to jnana and karma, bhakti alone is the sadhana, yes, and sadhya. And it's the effective sadhana and superior to all other paths. And that bhakti is only the sadhya also. So after liberation, the jiva also performs bhakti eternal. So that is only the sadhya. So during our existence in this material world, we have to perform bhakti. Even after the liberation, we have to perform bhakti towards the Lord. So then in the last Sandarbha, that is Priti Sandarbha, which defines the prayojana or the goal of the devotees. So the goal should be that to attain Krishna Prema or Priti, divine love, as the ultimate goal, Parama Purushartha. That is the highest goal of human life. And that can be attained only by performing Shuddha Bhakti. So he concludes that only Priti, Krishna Prema, that only will lead to full self-realization or Atma Sakshatkar. And then he can only attain Paramananda, the supreme bliss, by uh, attaining Krishna Prema. So this was all outline about all of the six Sandarbhas. Now here, Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Sandarbhas, he has uh, he has drawn from the entire Vaishnava philosophical tradition and produced original, not repetitive conclusions. So Srimad Bhagavatam, he has taken the basis, and it is the uh, philosophical exposition. So very philosophically rigorous and scripturally grounded. So the topics which he has explained, which he has properly expounded, it's very much backed up with a lot of scriptural evidences. There is nothing which he has concocted or made up something new, but he has been very much adherent to the previous acharyas and the guru, sadhu, and shastra, and also philosophically very much rigorous or very much authentic. So then he intends, while he writes Sandarbhas, he intends the audience or eligibility who can understand Sandarbhas. Srila Jiva Goswami writes that it's specifically for Krishna Bhaktas and assumes that Shraddha as a prerequisite. So, Shraddha or the faith in the devotional process, so that is the prerequisite. A person should have Shraddha, he should have faith that Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And the Jiva, his constitutional position is to serve the Lord. Jivera Swarupa hoy Krishna Nityadas. And that is what the Jiva has to do. That is called Bhakti. So, devotional process, devotional service. And through that only a person can attain the Krishna Prema, the goal. And that person should have Shraddha or the faith in the scriptures, in the Shastras, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. So, whatever the Shabda Pramana or the Shastras, they have laid down the philosophical tenets. The person should have faith in them. And the rules and regulations which are laid down by our previous acharyas, he should faithfully and rigorously he should perform or he should follow those rules and regulations. So that's why that person who has this Shraddha and who is a Krishna Bhakta, he can only study the Sandarbhas. So this is not lack of scholarship, but recognition that realization transcends dry intellectualism. So it's not that the Sandarbhas are written for the like for those who are very much interested in dry intellectualism, or those who are just scholars and very much intellectual, but they are very dry philosophers. But they don't perform, they are not Krishna Bhaktas, but just for the uh, entertainment of mind and of intellect, of intelligence. So for that only they wish to study. So for them, these sandarbhas are not written, and uh, those are not the audience of sandarbhas. So that's why uh, these sandarbhas are explicitly only for the devotees, the Krishna Bhaktas, those who have Shraddha in the devotional process, in the Shastras, and uh, in the statements of Shastras, which tells about the whole process and the nature of the Supreme Lord. So now, considering that we will start Tattva Sandarbha, so currently what I am planning to do is that I will be conducting these sessions of Tattva Sandarbha uh, in a like scriptural manner. Means how Jiva Goswami has written it. So in that flow only, I will be explaining. So the Mula or the original text of Tattva Sandarbha, first we will cover that. Then, if Jiva Goswami has written that Sarva Samvadini commentary, Sarva Samvadini is the commentary, the auto commentary of Jiva Goswami. And we will also, through the Sanskrit sentences, so through the original Sanskrit sentences, we will try to understand the meaning of that comment. And also, Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, who is also another uh, who was also another great devotee and scholar and great exponent of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, who has written extensively about the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. The many books he has written, and he only wrote the commentary on Prasthanatrayi, so Brahma Sutras and Bhagavad Gita and other granthas. And he has done a great contribution to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So he also has written the commentary on Sandarbhas. So we will also cover his commentary after covering Sarva Sambhadini. So his commentary's name is Tattva Sandarbha Tika. So among the six Sandarbhas, the position of Tattva Sandarbha is that it's smallest in size. There are but not the least in importance. So even though it is smallest, but it's not least in importance. And Tattva Sandarbha consists of many anuchedas. Anucheda basically means the paragraph. Okay, paragraphs are there, and in that only the topic, the philosophical concepts are explained. So this term tattva means reality or essence. Okay, the tattva, or what is the reality? The reality, the valid knowledge, and how can we know that reality, that ultimate reality? How can we know So the process, the means of that, and what is that valid knowledge, what is that reality. So that is what is called Tattva. Hence, Tattva Sandarbha discusses the ultimate reality to be known and realized, and it provides the essential foundation for all subsequent Sandarbhas. So this Tattva Sandarbha provides the foundation actually. Without, if we don't study Tattva Sandarbha, then the other Sandarbhas cannot be understood properly. So that's why Pramana and Prameya, the ontological and epistemological foundation has to be there. It therefore serves as an introduction or prastavna to the meaning, to the remaining five sandarbhas. Now, what is the structure of Tattva Sandarbha? The structure of Tattva Sandarbha is that there are total anuchedas, that is 63. There are 63 anuchedas in Tattva Sandarbha, and they are divided into three major divisions. So, invocations or the Mangalacharan prayers, that is from Anucheda 1 to 8, and the epistemology, that is Pramana. So, Pramana Vichara, it's from Anuchedas 9 to 28, Anuchedas, and ontology. Ontology means the Prameya or the topic, the uh, the truths. Okay, so the reality, the truths, or what has to be known. So the topics which have to be known by Pramana, the Prameya, the object of Pramana. So those are discussed from Anuchedas 29 to 63. Now I will just try to give some outline of Phoologi Tattva Sandarbha. And in the next video, the next presentation, we will start the discussion of the Tattva Sandarbha, like starting from the invocation prayers. So the very first Anucheda we will discuss in the next session. So in the 1 to 8 Anuchedas, the invocations of Mangalacharan prayers are there. The opening invocation, the Anuchedas 1 to 3. Sri Jiva Goswami opens with a verse from Bhagavad Puran, spoken by sage Karbhajan Muni, and describing the avatar for Kali. So Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Pashanam Yagya Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Suvedasaha. So this is what is discussed, the Mangalacharan prayer, that is. And then Anucheda 2, Jiva identifies this avatar as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and clarifies the deeper meaning of the Bhagavatam verse. So what Karbhajan Muni has told, that verse he clarifies. In Anucheda 3, he offers prayers to Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswamis and acknowledges that he composed the Sandarbhas at their instruction. So Jiva Goswami, at the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, he composes the Sandarbhas. From Anuchedas 4 to 5, he acknowledges his predecessors. So his intellectual debt to Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He states his work is based on Gopal Bhatta's foundational ideas, and he is just elaborating them. Through Gopal Bhatta's work is no longer extant, Jiva himself undertook the systematic theological construction. In the Anucheda 6, Adhikara is described, eligibility of the reader. Sri Jiva Goswami explicitly states he writes only for those who aspire to worship the feet of Sri Krishna, only for Krishna Bhaktas. And he warns others about implications of entering such deep inquiry without proper eligibility. So this Anucheda 6 defines the Adhikara and it's crucial for understanding Gaudiya epistemology. In the Anucheda 7, he gives gratitude to his teachers. So Sri Jiva Goswami expresses gratitude to his mantra guru and spiritual teachers who helped him understand the Bhagavatam. And in Sarvasamvatini, in his commentary, he mentions, or he quotes the Acharyas again and again. Sri Ramanujacharya, Sri Madhvacharya, Sridhar Swami, and many other great Acharyas. The seminal verse, Anucheda 8. So in that, he writes, final invocation verse addressed to Sri Krishna. So that is the final verse, 8th Anucheda. And it contains the seed, the Bija Mantra of all the Sandarbha doctrines. It is an expansion of the famous Vadant Tattvavidas, Tattvam Yajnanam Advayam, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdite. So that Anucheda, it describes what all topics will be encompassed in whole of the Sandarbhas. So based on this verse, first four Sandarbhas derive their names also. And subjects of Bhakti and Preeti Sandarbhas are also hinted through this verse. So the epistemology, the Pramana Vichara, Pramana Shastra is described from 9th Anucheda to 28th Anucheda. And then there he describes about the Anubandha Chatushtayam also. So initially he gives the Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtayam basically means the fourfold framework, the very four essentials. A person, whenever a person writes any book, so that time he has to define the Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtayam, uh, it consists of the Vishaya, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So what will be the Vishaya? Okay. And also, who is the Adhikara? So who is the Adhikara? Krishna Bhaktas are having the Adhikara to study. So this is, and then Vishaya, what will be the subject of this book? That is Sri Krishna. And what is the Sambandha? So Sambandha is the relation between Vachya Vachaka Bhava. So reality, Sri Krishna is revealed through Bhagavad Puran. So Bhagavad Puran is the uh, Vachaka, and Vachyam is Sri Krishna. So that is what is the Sambandha. And Abhideya is the means to attain. The Abhideya is that is the means to attain that Vachyam, or that the goal. So that is Bhakti. And Prayojana goal, that is Prema, divine love for Krishna. So this is all Anubandha Chatushtaya. Even in some any other book, there also these four things are described. So Vishaya, what is the subject matter? Sambandha, so how this book is going to this subject or the book, whatever the concepts are there in that book, the topics of the book. So how they are very much related to the reader and the book he is reading. So what is the sambandha? Okay. And how that sambandha, so what is the sambandha and how he is going to get benefited. So what are the objectives? And how he is going to get benefited by reading that book. And how to, what is the process of reading book? What is the structure, and what is the means, or what is the process of like going through the book or understanding the book? So that is also defined. And after understanding or after covering the whole book, so after at the end of studying the whole book, what will be the prayojana you will get? So after understand or after studying all of this whole book, what you will be able to understand, or what conclusion you will come out to. So some prayojana will be. In Anucheda 10, so he describes about the he rejects the empiricist philosophy. So that is what Pratyaksha Anuman. So sense perception and inference are limited and cannot grasp the trans phenomenal reality, the ultimate reality Tattva. And that's why we have to accept Shabda Pramana. Anucheda 11, he describes only Shabda is accepted as valid Pramana. Shabda here means the Vedas, and reason they are free from human defects. So there are four human defects, and the Brahma Pramana Vipralipsa Katana Patava. So Vedas or Shabda Pramana is without any such defects. Now the Vedas are from Anuchedas 12 to 16. He describes that Vedas are difficult to understand and partially available, and they are esoteric. So that's why Itihasas and Puranas, they provide clearer access. Okay. They have same source, same authority, same meaning as the Vedas. Vedas are not rejected, but considered impractical for this undertaking. So it's very much difficult to understand. So those who are, because not everyone will be like so much intelligent, or not everyone can understand the Vedas, the language of the Vedas. That's why Itihasas and Puranas, they provide clear access. They provide the purport of the Vedas and the practical implementation, and conventionally how do we have to apply the teachings of the Vedas in practical manner. So that's what. And then in Anucheda 7, Jiva Goswami, based on Matsya Puran, he classifies Puranas as Satvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. And only Satvika Puranas are suitable to disclose ultimate reality. And among them, Bhagavad Purana. So among Satvika Puranas, Bhagavad Purana is the supreme. Then from Anuchedas 19 to 26, he establishes the supremacy of Bhagavad Purana by quoting many evidences. So he elaborates on Gayatri Mantra, and Bhagavad Purana is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. He explains about Mahabharata and four Vedas, and where the Bhagavad Purana is placed. So it's supported by citations from Garud Purana, Madhvacharya's Bhagavad Tatva Nirnaya. And then in Anushada 23, so Bhagavat is compared as the sun for Kali Yuga. Bhagavad Purana appears like the sun after Krishna's departure, illuminates Kali Yuga, and its popularity is shown by the large number of commentaries on it. That's why you can see, compared to all other Puranas, the commentary on Bhagavatam is the most. So many commentaries are written on Srimad Bhagavad Purana. And then Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, and the Bhagavad Purana. So Sri Jiva Goswami states that Sri Shankaracharya did not write a commentary on Bhagavad Purana because so as not to distort its meaning. Because in Bhagavad Purana clearly it's mentioned about the personal form of Supreme Lord. But Sri Shankaracharya, he expounded that there is only Brahman and there is no personal form of the Supreme. According to Jiva Goswami, Shankar propagated Advaitavad to address people inclined to deny a qualified absolute. And some later Advaitins, even though Shankaracharya did not write, but some later Advaitins, they misunderstood Shankaracharya's inner intent, and they have written distorted commentaries on Srimad Bhagavad Purana. Seeing this, Sri Madhvacharya, though initiated in Shankara's Sampradaya, but still he wrote Bhagavad Tatparya to establish the purport of Bhagavad Purana. Then Sri Jiva Goswami's methodological choice from Anuchedas 27 to 28. On the basis of the epistemological evaluation, Sri Jiva Goswami chose Bhagavad Puran as the primary text. His aim was to ascertain the Vishaya, Abhideya, and Prayojan. And Anuchedas 27 to 28, he explains his methodology and lists the sources he relies upon throughout the Sandarbhas. From the 29th Anucheda to 63rd Anucheda, he describes the ontology. Ontology means the prameyas. So the transcognitive ontological approach from Anuchedas 29 to 49. Sri Jiva Goswami analyzes ontology from aparoksha standpoint. And subject, means, and goal are not logical constructs, but directly realized truths. And these truths are from Sri Shukadev's realization and Sri Vyasadeva's samadhi. So he explains that the Sambandha, Vishaya, Abhideya, Prayojana, they are not just logical constructs only, but they are directly realized truths, and these truths arise from the acharyas, the realization of great acharyas. And Shukadev Goswami and Vyasadeva's harmonized realization. So Shukadev's experience from Brahman awareness to immersion in prema for Bhagavan, triggered by hearing select Bhagavad verses. So Shukadev Goswami, before he was Brahmavadi, but by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he became a great devotee of Lord. And Vyasadeva's experience also from Sapra cognitive samadhi. So he after instruction from Narad Muni, he enters the samadhi and he realizes the the Lord, his nature, his pastimes, his entourage, and his energies. Yes. So all both reveal subject, means, and goal. Sri Krishna, the means is devotion, and Krishna Prema is the goal. Then Sri Suta Goswami confirms this harmony, and from these self-disclosed truths from the guiding principles for interpreting Bhagavad Purana. So Sri Suta Goswami also affirms the same, which Shukadeva Goswami and Vyasadeva's uh, realizations tell us. Then from Anushedhas 32 to 48, Vyasadeva Samadhi and the composition of Bhagavad Purana. So before composing Bhagavad Puran, Vyasadeva entered devotional samadhi, and in that state, Sri Krishna revealed himself with his energies. What did Vyasadeva perceived? Maya as Krishna's external energy, and Jiva's bondage is due to Maya, and liberation can happen only through Bhakti Yoga. So out of compassion, Vyasadeva composed Bhagavad Puran for suffering humanity. So these are all explained from Anushedhas 32 to 40. Then also in those Anuchedas, he refutes the Advaitic doctrines, that is Pratibimba and Paricheda, and he expounds that jivas are eternal and they are real. They don't merge in after liberation in Brahman, and they are the parts and parcels of Brahman, Bhagavan's conscious energy, like the rays of sunlight from the sun. Then Shukadeva's transformation he explains from Anusheda 49. Though Shukadeva was Brahman realized from birth, Bhagavata drew him into Prema. This shows Bhagavan both includes and transcends Brahman. Vyasadeva's realization and Shukadeva's realization are identical. Any interpretation contrary to this is misleading and improper. And the determination of the Vastav Vastu. So Vastav Vastu is the immutable reality, that is the Tattvam Advayam, Bhagavan, Paramatma, Brahman. Tattva is Advaya Jnanam, known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Then from 50th to 63rd Anuchedas, he explains about the Vyashti and Samashti analysis. So Vyashti Nirdesha, individual consciousness, and then moves to Samashti Nirdesha, cosmic order. From individual awareness only, supreme consciousness is imputed. So by understanding the nature of Jiva, we can understand the nature of Supreme Lord. From cosmic order, ultimate reality is known as source and ashraya. So these all things, Vyasti and Samashti, which we will discuss in upcoming videos. I will explain this. So how Srila Jiva Goswami explains Vyasti and Samashti Nirdeshas. Then the Ashraya and the 10 topics of Bhagavad. So in the Anuchedas, Jiva Goswami tells about the Ashraya, for Ashraya, so Lord is the Ashraya, the foundation of Jivas, cosmos, and all energies. And Bhagavatam has the 10 topics, Dasha Lakshanam. The first 9 explain the 10th. The first 9 topics, they explain the 10th topic, that is Sri Krishna. And with this, Tattva Sandarbha is concluded. So some few conclusions we can derive from Tattva Sandarbha. Those are Bhagavad Puran is the highest pramana. It is the natural commentary, natural explanation of Vedanta Sutra. And the first verse of Bhagavad explains Gayatri Mantra. The Bhagavad Puran is Sri Krishna in sound form, Shabda Brahman. Bhagavatam is eternal, not composed but revealed. And Bhagavad Puran is having 335 chapters, confirming textual integrity. Prema, not Mukti, is the supreme goal. Itihasas and Puranas are the fifth Veda. Vedas cannot be understood without them. And reality is realized through Guru Shishya heart alignment. Shankaracharya avoided commenting Bhagavatam out of reverence. Sridhar Swami's Bhavartha Deepika guided our Advaitins toward bhakti. So these all some of the important doctrinal points are covered in Tattva Sandarbha. So with this, the Tattva Sandarbha, so he had in Tattva Sandarbha many such topics are explained. In the next upcoming video, I will be we will be starting to understand the very first Anucheda, the invocation prayers. Yeah. So with this, I would like to conclude here. And there are many more topics, like each Anucheda, it discusses which topic. So gradually, I will explain that. Yeah. Okay, fine.